Yes, during a press conference where General Museveni was taking questions from a British journalist, very many questions were asked. Among the very many questions which were asked was whether General Museveni can work with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Bobi Wine. We all know right now Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Bobi Wine is the strongest opposition leader who made Museveni run for his money. And even some people like us think that Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu won the 2021 general election. Some of us think even that the process which were passed through to announce General Museveni for the presidency was not in tandem with our constitution. So in this episode, I've come to talk about why General Museveni came out to agree that he can work with Bobi Wine and Kizza Besigye, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If your politics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. I dedicate this video to Sechitole Yasin, a political prisoner who has been in incarceration for more than 3 years. So during an interview, General Museveni was asked whether he can work with Dr. Kizza Besigye and Bobi Wine. And he went on to say that indeed he can work with them. This was asked by a British journalist. Before I speak on this, let me first give you the tape as General Museveni was speaking on this. Here's the tape.
When you go that direction, I get confused because mine is about Bobi Wine, and I'm wondering, would you offer him the same job though? Would you say to him that please come and take up Minister of Foreign Affairs? Is that something you're willing to do? Right. And then people like Kizza Besigye, Bobi Wine, these are people you're willing to work with?
No problem. I was working with the Semogere, 1996. He's the one who left us.
Right. So that is General Museveni when he was agreeing that he can work with other opposition leaders. And for me, I see two things. First of all, after the 1980 civil war, General Museveni made a transitional government where he invited other opposition leaders in government. Those opposition leaders included Semogere. And for me, I think it was a mistake by Semogere not to go in General Yoweri Museveni's government. In fact, that is the day Semogere started falling. If Semogere had went in the bush, he would be the president of the country because the ground was fertile, which General Museveni utilized. And even after General Museveni capturing government, he invited Semogere, who was already serving in Obote's government, as the leader of opposition. You could see that Semogere miscounted on. Okay? So, one of the techniques General Museveni normally uses to neutralize the opposition is inviting their heads. And if their heads are not firm, they end up joining him. The reason as to why I will forever give Dr. Kizza Besigye respect is that he has refused to work with General Museveni. He only wants to work with General Museveni on principle, and the principles is a transition, which is a backbone of our problem. What General Museveni says that he can work with other opposition leaders is not the problem. The problem has always been transition. The day Uganda will solve the transitional conundrum is that day we shall prosper as a country. Even if General Museveni invites Bobi Wine in the government, even if he invites Kizza Besigye and the entire opposition brigade, without solving the problem of transition and other biting viruses like human rights abuses, the opposition will stay and it will stay strong. Under General Museveni, we don't have constitutionalism. There are rampant human rights abuses. So, what opposition leaders can work with General Museveni on principle, not just to join government as Mao. And it continues to buttress the General Museveni's aim of putting Nobert Mao in the government. Nobert Mao was always on TV saying how he was put in General Museveni's government to talk about transition and constitutional amendments, not until he went to Parliament, and Parliament came out to say that they don't have funds for constitutional review. So that's how General Museveni plays.
Madam Speaker, it's regrettable that the Constitutional Review Commission has not yet been constituted. At the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, in light of the financial constraints that we are facing, since we don't have all the money for the Constitutional Review Commission, we have decided to recommend to the President and the Cabinet that the Uganda Law Reform Commission takes charge of the process. It's a constitutional body. It is capable of doing that job. All that will be required is to beef it up with some additional members.
And the good thing is the opposition won't Nobody Mao. That's why even for the past months, Nobody Mao has been talking as the opposition, yet he's working in government. He came out to say that he cannot take the atrocities of the government on his head.
I have a freedom to agree to disagree with the government in which I serve, provided the disagreement is clear. And I want to promise that as long as I'm the Minister of Justice, where the government is wrong, you will not find me defending what is wrong, because I have some values I believe in, and I want to be true to those values. I'd rather be false to the government, but true to my values.
I'm sure that after entering government, he knew that he was duped. That's how General Museveni has played. That's why he wants to take all opposition leaders in government, not knowing that that is not the solution. The solution is to tackle our fundamental problem of failing to transit from one leader to another. That has always been our problem. Kenya has transited. Now this is the fourth president. That's why it has one of the biggest economies in Africa. Look at the countries which have mastered transition: Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. All countries which have had seemingly a good democracy, okay, they have transited even economically, because the first pillar of development is political stability, and political stability is easily achieved if a country is sure that it can transit from one leader to another with minimal damage. Here in Uganda, you've never seen that. So General Museveni coming out to say that he can work with the Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, Bobi Wine, it is a fallacy. It won't solve problems. Two, I also think that since the sanctions are starting to bite, he has started to talk about these things so that he can seem to be wanting to work with these opposition forces. Yet we all know what he thinks about them. General Museveni jails those who are not in agreement with his leadership. Sometimes even the regime ascends on the people and kills them, like the way it did on November 18th and 19th. We know what he thinks. So by coming out to, you may even find that this interview was created by the state to paint Museveni's picture as if he wants to work with Bobi Wine and Kizza Besigye. Yet we know the real problem of our country. Of course, that's my opinion. Do drop me your comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.